Key point 1. Continuous networking of souls. Even if it doesn't seem like you have a relationship, you actually do. You're connected to your parents, even if they weren't involved in your upbringing. Friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. Chance encounters with strangers, like those you see at the supermarket occasionally. Pets. Possessions, such as your house, car, computer, books, and favorite clothes. Self. This one is always the most demanding and tricky. Past, present, and future partners. Moreover, your relationship can continue even when no one is on the other end. In such a case, the absence of the second participant defines the link. The love and kindness you direct toward others nourishes and strengthens you. In essence, no human can avoid relationships. Therefore, you must develop the ability to build and maintain them to achieve happiness and prosperity. Fortunately, you have selected the right door, leading to valuable insights that can transform your life. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships that matter to you and imagine them vividly. Save this mental picture, as you will soon apply the insights you gain to these relationships. Without hesitation, cross the threshold of this summary and explore the knowledge that awaits you. Key point 2. On the harm of expectations. It's paradoxical, but you may have developed specific ideas and expectations about relationships even before you met your first partner. Growing up, you probably observed how married couples interacted around you or from popular culture. These observations became the basis of how you envisioned your ideal relationship. As a result, you may have two conflicting categories in mind. 1. An example of a toxic interaction to avoid. 2. A model of a happy, long-lasting marriage to emulate. Yet, both approaches have inherent flaws. In the first scenario, you are attempting to use a flawed formula as a basis for something that you hope will succeed. While that may seem reasonable, that is not the case. You cannot build a successful relationship on the foundation of unsuccessful ones. If your measure of success is simply better than disaster, then you are setting the bar too low. Additionally, there is a risk of overreacting unreasonably to triggers that remind you of the wrong example. It can result in undeserved criticism toward your partner or a complete breakdown of a relationship that could have thrived. Never evaluate your partner through comparisons with others. In the second scenario, you may get too caught up in the expectations of how things should be. It can lead to constant comparisons between yourself and your partner and create undue stress on the relationship over time. It's important to remember that even if you have had an example of an ideal family since childhood, that family consisted of other people with unique personalities. There is no one-size-fits-all recipe for success in a relationship, and you must select your ingredients and proportions based on your preferences. Your problem in your relationship is that you resist when it's not going your way. Gary John Bishop. Did you know? The Forbes Health Survey found that the most popular methods of meeting dates were through online dating apps, 45%, being introduced by friends, 33%, and attending concerts or festivals, 32%. Key point 3. Decisions define destiny. A life where you are deprived of the opportunity to be yourself can only lead to suffering. Constantly trying to shape, correct, and manipulate your partner under the guise of offering help or salvation is a recipe for disaster. If you are in a relationship with someone struggling with addiction or self-destructive behavior, you will have a difficult decision to make. You stay together and face challenging consequences. You break up and allow your ex-partner to choose a way of life you disagree with. This choice can determine the course of your life. There is no middle ground. It's either inside or outside. However, staying in means accepting all that entails, and complaining becomes futile. You can only save those who are open to being saved. Your life is a sequence of personal choices and decisions, even when you seem to have no choice. It's important to ask yourself what drives your choices. It is an excellent opportunity for introspection, enlightenment, and the revelation of truths about your relationship. Often, people unknowingly select partners influenced by past psychological traumas. Perhaps you unconsciously seek a partner you can save, or someone who will make you feel appreciated and grateful. By analyzing your motives honestly, you may realize that you're attracted to someone who exhibits the traits of an abuser. Sometimes, you may set ambitious goals for yourself, but sabotage your efforts due to fear of change. This defensive reaction is a natural response of the human psyche. Unfortunately, this results in you repeatedly encountering similar problems and situations. You may unconsciously seek relationships with partners who fit familiar patterns. This phenomenon is known as identity relationships. Ultimately, it is critical to move away from viewing relationships as inherently flawed and recognize that the problem may lie in your approach and relationship model. To create something genuinely new, you must examine your beliefs and self-perception. Key point 4. Don't let yourself down. Now that it's clear that you cannot change your partner's personality, it's time to focus on what you can control: yourself. The main person you should not disappoint is you. In the excitement of starting a relationship, it's easy to get caught up in the thrill of it all and forget to focus on your self-awareness and self-control. You may feel like you have found the perfect person, making you believe your partner will solve all your problems, distracting you from the need for personal growth. But the truth is that you can't control your partner's actions. You can only accept or reject them. Thus, you can only be responsible for yourself. So, take some time to reflect on your contributions to the relationship and identify any potential issues causing harm. Consider your emotional triggers, self-sabotaging behaviors, and how you can work to regulate any destructive habits. But the most critical question you should answer honestly is whether you are ready to work in this relationship. Your initial reaction will reveal a lot. From here, there are 2 ways. 1. If you find yourself exhausted by the effort required to maintain this relationship and often get defensive, it may be a sign that you don't fully appreciate the value of the bond. Be honest with yourself and your partner about where you stand. 2. If you aspire to work for the mutual benefit of your prosperity, you will likely succeed. Begin by analyzing the harmful patterns that affect relationships and identifying how these characteristics manifest themselves. Attempt to put aside your urge to justify your actions and introspect. The more you comprehend yourself, the less you will feel the need to prove to your partner that you are right, and the easier it will be for you to admit your mistakes. If you value love, commit to taking a loving action. Do something that reflects who you are. Gary John Bishop. Remember that your agreements with yourself are just as crucial as those with your partner. Respect that and stay true to your values. Key point 5. 9 minutes a day. Communication plays a crucial role in the quality of relationships. The level of intimacy you share with your partner depends on how you express yourself patiently, honestly, and clearly. Of course, listening to and taking your loved one's feelings seriously during personal conversations is equally essential. Paying attention to detail and remembering significant aspects can help you and your partner feel loved, heard, and secure. However, you should know that mutual understanding is demanding to achieve. Sometimes your partner may misunderstand your feelings, interpreting them as hostile. The same can happen from your side as well. It is worth recognizing that mutual understanding in a couple is a piece of jewelry that requires a lot of patience. It can break down when both parties stop trying to comprehend each other and instead look for someone to blame. Here are some sure signs that the dialogue has ceased to be productive and should stop. You feel that negative emotions overwhelm you and are unable to control them. You keep bringing up your partner's grievances and mistakes to prove your point. You intentionally try to hurt your loved one. Controlling conversations may seem strange, but it has a logical formula. It is called the 90-10 rule, which suggests limiting your arguing to 10% of the total communication time in your relationship. There is room for engaging introspection here. How many minutes a day do you talk to your partner? Research shows that on average, people spend between 1 and 3 hours talking daily. However, meaningful conversations usually take from 30 to 90 minutes. So, according to the scheme, you should not spend more than 9 minutes a day on arguments. Instead, use the time to cool down, reflect on your emotions, and formulate them in a non-violent way to express them in dialogue the next day. This way, you avoid hurtful words and accusations that can damage your relationship and linger around for months. Consciously limit your disputes to avoid spending your whole life in them. Key point 6. Love's final rule. The last idea you will uncover may be the most vital and universal rule. It lies in the need to love the difficulties that you encounter in life together with your partner. At first glance, this may seem counterintuitive. Isn't the point of a relationship to always be happy and fulfilled? Well, not really. Take some time to ponder over this idea. Let's compare it to your favorite spot in town. Imagine it's a cozy cafe located between your home and workplace. You visit it every evening to enjoy your favorite drink and pastries. The cafe has become a source of comfort for you, helping you relax after a long day. You've followed this routine for years, and it has helped you overcome several difficult moments in your life. Yet, sometimes you encounter long queues, tired and unfriendly staff, or your favorite buns have already been sold out when you arrive. Despite these challenges, you still love the cafe and accept these circumstances as a part of its vibrant and bustling atmosphere. It just happens. Life doesn't always meet your expectations, and that's the beauty of it. However, you may lack patience and acceptance in your relationship with your loved one. It is unrealistic to expect two imperfect individuals to create a perfect union. The concept of loving the struggle anchors you to reality without creating that fragile and unreliable bubble of naive optimism. Here are the main points. Some issues will inevitably arise regardless of your actions. Your partner's behavior may not always be easy to understand due to their complex psychological processes. You may not always solve all relationship problems, but you can learn to live with them. The point is that even though you may encounter difficulties and get hurt in your interactions with your partner, you accept these experiences as a part of your love. Consider the flaws in your relationship as a tax you pay for the joy and comfort of sharing life with the chosen person. It is an integral part of the deal. Conclusion. You can use the method described earlier to strengthen any relationship and give it new life. These rules also apply to your relationship with yourself. So, be aware of your responsibilities. Accept what you cannot change. Live up to your values. Remember, love is all about creating and being true to yourself, so make your life a conscious quest for the beauty within it. Try this. Create a structured conflict resolution plan with specific steps for disagreements. Develop a daily or weekly appreciation ritual where both partners express gratitude for something the other did that made them feel loved. Share this summary with your partner and invite them to discuss it together.